Now, if you think the vaccine rollout is going well here, try living in Gibraltar. Almost the entire population there has been vaccinated. So life is returning to normal and hopes are high of a good summer for tourism. Gibraltar's Health Minister is Samantha Sacramento, and she joins me now. Good morning to you. To what do you attribute the success of your vaccination programme? I think 95% of the population has been vaccinated so far.
Good morning. Yes, we have vaccinated by now 85% of our overall population. But in terms of people who are over the age of 60, the figure for that is 98%. We've coined a vaccination program in Gibraltar, Operation Freedom. And by this stage, given the high number of people who've been vaccinated, it really does feel like freedom.
And your vaccination, interestingly, has included cross-border travel, those coming in from Spain to work on sometimes a daily basis, hasn't it?
Yes, we have around 14,000 frontier workers, mostly people who are Spanish, but there are also other people who live on the other side of the border who come to Gibraltar to work on a daily basis. And therefore, it was important that they also be vaccinated so that we could achieve our population immunity. This has only been possible by the great generosity of the UK government in the provision of the Pfizer vaccine to Gibraltar, both in terms of the volume of vaccine that has been supplied to us, as well as the frequency with which the vaccine has been supplied. We've received the vaccine on RAF flights to Gibraltar. Almost always we've had very blustery weather, but it's always arrived, and we've never had to stall our vaccination program while we waited for more vaccine. So that is also a contributing factor to the great success that we've had here.
What does life look like now in Gibraltar? What restrictions have you been able to lift?
We have very few restrictions in place. Back in March, we started lifting restrictions. We no longer have to wear masks in public places. In fact, we don't really have to wear masks indoors either, only in very limited circumstances. We no longer have restrictions of gatherings either, but we deal with the large events by way of safety permits. But all in all, we have come out of our lockdown gradually with a lot of thought in the process of the easing of restrictions, and we have very, very little restrictions in place. We are hoping to do away with the very few restrictions that we have in place in the coming weeks and hope to get back to a very safe normality.
But social distancing still exists, does it?
Well, the public health advice is still in place, so social distancing continues to be advised, as does the continued washing of hands. But at this point, it's more a question of advice and asking people to take self-responsibility, as opposed to it being regulated as it has been in the past.
And what's the situation with your borders and foreign travellers? When might you be able to welcome visitors to Gibraltar?
Well, our borders have not been closed, but of course, those who need to come to our borders have their own travel restrictions. But we're very much looking forward to being on the UK's green list when that is announced on the 17th of May. And as you know, Gillian, Gibraltar has a lot to offer, and we are very much looking forward to welcome visitors to the UK from Gibraltar. What we have in place is systems to make sure that our population continues to be safe, as well as to welcome visitors in a very safe way. As a result of our vaccination programme, we haven't had a single positive case of COVID in Gibraltar from a resident in the last 5 weeks.
And I do know what Gibraltar has to offer. I have visited, and very nice it was too. Samantha Sacramento, Health Minister for Gibraltar. Thank you very much for speaking to us.
Thank you very much. Good morning.